Hello there, vinyl community, YouTube, the interweb, the universe. How the devil are you? Hope you're all keeping well, all fine and dandy. Um, just to let you know what all this video is about, I started filming this a few weeks ago and haven't edited it. And well, I've had to do bits again as well. And it's basically a vinyl sort of catch up, finds, buys, stuff. I've been out and found when I've been crate digging and all that, and stuff I've ordered. For some reason or another, I never just got around to compiling it all together and showing you all. A lot of this I picked up in the last quarter of last year, and picked up dribs and drabs and just put it in a box behind me, listened to it, forgot all about it. And again, picked up some dribs and drabs this year. So yeah, I've also started collating stuff I picked up from car boot sales over the past couple of weeks, and second-hand record dealers I've discovered. One of them, thanks to Beetle Dave, who mentioned the shop in one of his videos. So bless you, sir, for mentioning the name of that. So yeah, it's just a general catch-up video. I'll say a bit about the albums. I'll hold them up, and the 7-inch singles. I'm kind of inclined now to going back to the old way I used to do it, and I put it on top of just put them down on a towel and sort of zoom in on the label and the band and the song and that, and you can sort of see it a lot more clearly than me sitting here holding it all up. So anyway, enough jibber jabber, flim flam, waffle and piffle. Let's get on with it. Bless you, and thank you very much for tuning in and watching. welcome back. I hope there was something there of interest to you. 7-inch singles. There was a big wodge of reggae dub stuff in there as well, which I was given free by the person who put the stuff onto the vinyl. He does it digitally. He has a record. I suppose it's a record making type place, and I deliver there every so often pallets of blank vinyl discs. And there's a 12-inch one in this pile here that he gave me to listen to, and I'll show you. It's something a bit special. So yeah, let's some of these are mail order, some of these I've got from shops. Proper record dealers. There's a couple here from a retro sort of antiques type place that sells records as well. But yeah, this one came. Let me just put these down a bit. It'll be a lot easier for me to, rather than try balancing bloody everything. This one came from a music and DVD and video type shop at Mablethorpe, up on the east coast, and that north east, heading north up the coast, near, not far from Skegness, and that about half an hour or so. Yeah, cracking little shop. Sells a lot of reissues, second-hand stuff as well. He's got CDs, DVDs, T-shirts, the works. I had a good rummage through. Came out with a couple of albums. This one's a British punk band, Chaos UK. This is a hits album of theirs. Quite like Chaos UK. And in particular, one track on here called No Security, which I think featured in a punk documentary film. Not quite sure, but I've seen a video to the said song, live type video on YouTube. It's well worth checking out. I'll perhaps put a link to it and I get all this edited. So yeah, this is a reissue, 2022 reissue. Am I bothered? No, I'm bloody well not. Chaos UK, Total Chaos, a singles collection. Great bit of British punk. Okay, this one was via Discogs. Original Scar Explosion, Volume 2. And it's a Scar compilation. The reason I picked this one up is because I already had Volume 1. And I picked that up at a record fair at Birmingham a few years ago, at, right next to the Motor Museum, Birmingham International Record Fair, I think they call it, or something. John 6-inch pianist know exactly what I'm on about. He's probably been to the same fair himself at some stage, and I think Rob Ison has as well. But yeah, this was going dirt cheap. Scar compilation, like I said, my kind of thing. You got the likes of Roland Alphonse on here, which Harris Pilton, I think, mentioned the other week, with regards to a track called Phoenix City. There's Tommy McCook on here, Baba Brooks, Don Drummond, Justin Hines, Stranger Cole, Duke Reed All Stars. It's a great album, great stars of the genre on here. Well worth picking up if you ever come across it. So yeah, Scar Explosion, Volume 2. I think there were only 2. like I say, I'd already got volume 1, so yeah, mission complete. Another skinhead reggae type compilation, Trojan Sound. Particularly like the front sleeve there, very nice. On the Trojan label, but there's some grand old albums here advertised on the back. One of them I've already got, Ken Booth. But there's stuff on here by Toots and the Maytals, Al Brown, Ken Booth I've already mentioned. There's Cimarrons, Byron Lee and the Dragonaires. Showed an album by them, which I picked up at that huge record store at Spalding the other week. John Holt. There's a Club Reggae compilation album here. That's volume 1. I think I've already got one of the volumes of that. So it's well worth looking into, trying to pick these up to make my sort of ska reggae collection bigger and better. This is on the Trojan label, as you'd expect. Toots and the Maytals on here, Ken Booth, Byron Lee, John Holt, Tito Simon. Yeah, Lloyd Chalmers, I've heard of him. Cimarrons, I've already mentioned them. Nicky Thomas, Love of the Common People. He, I believe he did. That's the original one. More widely known, sung in the 80s. Paul Young. So yeah, Trojan Sound, another great compilation. Well worth picking up if you ever see it. Now this I came across at one of those retro antique type shops. There's a record seller there. I did pick up some other stuff. This is an original copy, The Liquidator, Harry J. All Stars. Still got the original price sticker on it. It is a proper price sticker. It's not printed on, it's not a printed reissue. Yeah, I think this is on, I think it's licensed by Trojan, or either on Trojan. Not quite sure. I used to have a reissue of this, which was perfectly good, perfectly serviceable, playable. This has got that sort of laminate type front sleeve, and that sort of matte one on the back. So did I really need to buy this? Well, I suppose no, I didn't. On that Harry J label, licensed by Trojan. Yeah, so did I really need to buy this? No, I didn't. I thought, well, sod it, it's an original. And original copies are desirable. You can't always get them though, can you? And if I'm honest, I always have trouble getting the bloody things back in the sleeves. Not pain in the onions sometimes, records. But yeah, it's always desirable, I suppose, to have an original copy, and especially one in good nick like this. But I thought, oh, sod it. I know somebody who'd love the reissue I've got anyway, so I sent that off to them, and yeah, I've got the original. But am I bothered by reissues? Does that make me any less of a collector? I don't bloody well think so. I'm a music fan. I'm more than happy to have a copy of the music. Couldn't give a toss whether it's an original or a reissue, to be honest. This one was mail order, Gary Newman, exhibition, and it's basically a greatest sort of hits type album. Nothing really much you can say about it. which period is this? I thought it told you on the back here. This compilation exhibits the music of Gary Newman between 78 and 83. There's a different version of Cars on here, which I have the 7-inch single version of anyway. There's Our Friends Electric on here, as you'd probably expect. Cars are Wedding Complex, which is a fantastic song. Not long enough though. We Take Mystery to Bed. Lots of well-known Gary Newman stuff on here. I'm a big Newman fan. So yeah, saw this. Why not? Why not? The Gary Newman collection, ever expanding. This came from that retro antiques place. They had expensive stuff, affordable stuff, and they had a load of cheap stuff. I think it was 5 or 6 albums. They were either £2 each or 6 for a tenner. So yeah, I found 6 altogether. I think there was a couple I gave to Ian as VCLT. They were Steel Eye Span albums, which he didn't have. He's a fan of Steel Eye Span. This is sporting themes from sports TV programmes, etc. over here in Britain. Match of the Day, probably one of the most famous tunes on here. Football programme, football highlights, or soccer ball, as you call it over there in the States. So yeah, it's a fun record, and it brings back a lot of memories, I suppose. Okay, bit of a guilty pleasure, I suppose. This came from the same place. This is from 1972 on the MFP label, Music for Pleasure. The Magic Roundabout presents Dougal and the Blue Cats. It's a story with a bit of music in it as well. So yeah, spoken word. The Magic Roundabout was a children's TV program over here in Britain. I always thought it was 70s, but I think it might have started in the late 60s. I'm not quite sure. There was a period on BBC TV that they'd have children's programs on, sort of late afternoon, tea time, around 4 o'clock, as I say, here in Britain. And there'd be like a 5-10 minute sort of period between the ending of those kids' programs and the early evening news. And they used to have programs like the Magic Roundabout sort of filling that period, that time slot. And yeah, I remember sort of sitting and watching it. Great fun. And there was other programs as well. You'd have like Noggin the Nog, Rhubarb and Custard, which was an animated series with a cat and a dog. Great fun, great entertainment when you're a kid, and adults loved watching it as well, you know. So yeah, the Magic Roundabout, bit of guilty pleasure. It was only a couple of quid. Why not? Why not? I did mention getting been given a load of dub singles, and I showed them. The bloke who did it gave me this 12-inch single. It's not named, it's not titled. It's on this browny sort of coloured vinyl. I have played it, there's samples and there's dub stuff on there. It's all stuff he's sort of produced himself, I suppose you call it, and he puts music onto vinyl digitally. Um, I don't know how he does it. Well, he's even showed me the diamond um, sort of styluses or needles, industrial type things he uses for putting stuff on the vinyl. Um, crikey, you need a degree in computer science to understand what was going on. So yeah, he's made this one himself, produced it, made it, etc., etc. There's only two. He only ever did two. I've got one of them. I've got one of them, and yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I've never been mad on dub, especially really heavy, sort of, you know, want some ganja man type dub. But I'm slowly warming to it. You know, the dub, not the ganja. Yeah, only two ever made, and he gave me one of them. Brilliant. Cheers, sir. Thank you very much. Um, this came from the retro antiques type place next to actually um, Jeanette by the Beat. March of the Swivel Heads on the B side. I do keep an eye out for 12-inch singles by the Beat. Not just because I do collect the Beat stuff, but because some of the 12-inch singles they put out, you'll get extended mixes on them, stuff like that, which are quite good actually. Um, Here's another one by the Beat, I Confess. And there's a couple of extra tracks on the other side, I Confess Live and Spar With Me Live. And the A side, sorry, is a remix. So like I say, they're well worth looking out for. You get remixes, etc. on them. Not all of them. That's the Beat on the Go Feet label, which was distributed by Arista. Another reggae compilation. And I've always wondered why there was a bit of a penchant. I suppose is that the way you say it, for sort of semi-naked, half-naked women on the covers, and there's one again. There's a bit of nipple action there. We don't want to get into any trouble. I just wondered why they kept doing it. So yeah, Reggae Chartbusters. This is covers, and it's by Laurel Sparks and the Flint Men. A lot of these albums, people who put them out were jumping on the back of the popularity of reggae around that time, trying to make a few quid out of it. And there were a lot of good sort of unknown sort of backing bands, you know, that sort of thing, backing singers, bands, session singers, session musicians. This is a damn good album actually. You've got Elizabethan reggae on here, Monkey Man. Made the Specials did a cover of it. I can't for the life of me remember who did it originally, but I do have it somewhere in the collection. Swan Lake is a cover of that one here. Madness did a cover on that, and their One Step Beyond album. Wet Dream. Oh Christ Almighty, who did that? I've got it on 7-inch single as well. It'll come back to me probably next week when I'm at work. So yeah, these albums are well worth picking up if you come across them. 9 times out of 10, they're bloody good, bloody fantastic. Unknown bands and artists, session singers, backing singers, you know, backing bands. Well worth picking up. I'm still trying to think who did that. Max Romeo. That's who did it. Max Romeo. Desmond Decker compilation. I do have one already in my collection, but some of the songs on here don't feature on that one, and there are a couple that on here that do. I tend to be as careful as I can when buying compilations, but there isn't anything or very little that crosses over from one album to another. I don't want to be picking stuff up for the sake of it and finding out I've got everything else, everything on another album. Sorry. Desmond Decker, Sweet 16 Hits. This covers the period 67 to 73. Tracks on here like Pick Gal, Itmek, 007, Shantytown, You Can Get It If You Really Want. Israelites is on there. Produced by the great Leslie Kong. On Trojan, let's whip it out, as the lady of the night said to the vicar. Is it going to behave? Oh, I'm all fingers and thumbs. On the blue Trojan label. Not mint, the odd hairline on it, but it plays really, really well. And I did see the great man himself, Desmond Decker, in 1985, doing a gig at the Isle of Wight Scooter Alley, playing all the hits, made my weekend. This one came from the shop in Mablethorpe. Another reissue, Slade, the Christmas Party album. All the Christmas hits on it, coloured vinyl as well. And it has got that song on it, that Christmas song. You think, oh, bloody hell, not that one again. But I love it. I absolutely love it. Merry Christmas, everybody. And he got Let's Dance on there. Santa Claus is coming to town. Hi Ho, Silver Lining. We'll Bring the House Down, which was an absolutely fantastic Slade tune. Can't Feel the Noise, the Crackers version. All Join Hands. Lots of good sort of rocking party hits on here. So yeah, interesting addition to the Slade collection. It's cheap and cheerful, so I thought, why not? Two left. Another reggae compilation, Club Reggae Volume 3. I've already got one of these in the collection. I'm damn sure I have. So yeah, I thought I'd pick this one up. Artists like Dennis Al Capone, Jimmy Cliff, The Uniques, Desmond Decker, King Iwa and the Upsetters, Deltones. Lots of great bands, lots of great tunes which I don't have on any other album in the collection. And somebody's kindly taped a picture of Jackie Edwards cut out from the music magazine onto the back of the album. Yeah, another great Trojan album to pick up if you ever see it. A lot of Trojan compilations are bloody fantastic, well worth the money. You don't find an awful lot of them in really mint, tip-top condition. You normally have to take what you find. But I generally have no trouble at all with them. The odd hairline. The thing is, a lot of these albums were taken to parties and played, used and abused. That's the way it goes, isn't it? So yeah, that was from 1972, again on the Trojan label. And finally, this is another reissue, but it's a band I've known about for years, never come across any of their stuff. I think they only ever released one album, about perhaps about two, perhaps four singles. That's the Deltones, another sort of ska rock steady band. 10, 11 members, all women, except for the drummer, which was a bloke, lucky boy, surrounded by all those ladies. Great rocking, ska, rock steady, dance type music. And it's called, what a title this has, Nana Choc Choc in Paris. Brilliant. Always wanted a copy of this, never found one. Came across reissue. Again, does it make me any less of a collector if I buy reissues? No, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. I'm a fan of the music. I want a record. I can't wait forever. In the vain hope of finding an original copy, as much as I'd like to. This will do. It's perfectly serviceable, playable, decent sound. I love it. I want it. I'll buy it. There you go. The Deltones, Nana Choc Choc in Paris. And that's on the Black Butcher label. It's a German reissue. Yeah, again, well worth picking up or listening to via YouTube or whatever music service you use on the internet. The Deltones and a Choc Choc in Paris. So that's it. That's me all up to date with finds and buys and all that sort of malarkey. I'm going to try and get to a car boot sale tomorrow if I can. That's if the weather's okay. I'm not particularly bothered about buying shitloads of stuff, to be honest. If I come across records, I'll have a look, yeah, but no, not particularly bothered if I buy out or if I don't. But I've got plenty here to be getting on with and listening to anyway, so many thanks for taking time out and watching.